Hello and welcome everyone. Thank you very much for tuning in. This is a screencast-matic presentation for the warm-ups for the next warm-up packet cycle, upon which we are starting a new unit as well. We are going to begin the unit on mass media, and so of course I ask of you that you continue the same protocol with these warm-ups. You type down the question and the corresponding answer in full, format your answers in a different colored font, and remember to hit submit when the template is fully filled out. Let's go ahead and review some of the key questions for the warm-up packet cycle, and then we will delve deeper from there. So this question is for Monday and Tuesday of 125 and 126. Simply put, what is the media, and why does it matter in terms of understanding government? So while you finish typing down that question, the reason why this question matters for the first question for the unit is because I think it's important to look at the media differently in the light of civics and government. The whole goal of this course is to become a more informed and well-equipped citizen. But what role would the media play in that, and what role can you play in that as well? So here are some things to consider. The simple definition of media is the fact that it's a mass communications network or enterprise, and it carries a message including print or broadcast media. Now, print and broadcast media have different types of subforms. For example, there's radio, there's television, there's internet. We'll get into a little bit of that later. But the fact is that the media, in a sense, is a medium or a connection between government, politics, the news source, and us. So people. We can also refer to the media in terms of a group of people, individuals who are employed in the communications industry. They could be editors, publishers, journalists, newscasters, anybody on the tech crew. The media can have a wide range domain of terminology. There's different types of media, like I alluded to before. There's print media. You might find that in newspapers and magazines. Television, of course, needs no explanation. Radio media, which in many ways is making a comeback in terms of, podcast and, of course, Spotify as well. Internet media, of course, is huge, and so too is social media as a substrand of that as well. Let's not forget about the essence of news here, too. Of course, when we talk about the news, we're talking about specified topics that are covered heavily by media outlets. Please understand that there are more topics that are covered more heavily than others, like politics, economics, and conflict and scandal. In fact, I think in Crash Course in this lesson, they talk to you about why conflict and scandal sells more than regular neutral news. Additionally, the media takes on different roles, basically depending on the different types of topics that they seek to inform the public on. The media can act as a watchdog, as a scorekeeper, as a gatekeeper, really depending on the essence of the news that's being conveyed. And we'll get into a little bit more of that later. And the last thing here to keep in mind, the reason why the media matters in the civics and government class is because, a democracy really relies on well-informed people who can use information to stay informed, get involved, and bring change. And in a sense, the media helps us get this information for ourselves, and we can now share it and, of course, get other people to be involved in democratic processes too. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to the next question today, and we shall go from there. So let's go ahead and take it to Thursday and Friday from 128 and 129. What are the different forms of media, and what factors determine their success and downfalls in reporting good news? So I think it's important for you guys to understand that there are different types of media. Some might be better than others, depending on the types of news that you're looking to, in fact, research and just dive deeper into. So here's the answer to that question. First, let's talk about print media. Print media can refer to newspapers, magazines, and in many ways, it's just a written information medium to the masses. Print media has many advantages in the sense that print media tends to be more in-depth as well. There's also television media, which of course relies on stories being short but yet effective in the viewership of an audience. News programs and documentaries, exposés, commercials can use television media to their advantage. There's also radio media. Like I implied before, these are entities that can use radio waves to broadcast news stories to the masses. Talk radio can be really important, and also so too now are podcasts for people to seek the best information. The internet too is a game changer in the sense that it provides instantaneous and updated information about events, often used especially in the age of social media. The internet has allowed there to be constant, nonstop, 24/7 news cycle forever. Some good factors about media today. To be completely honest, it provides a lot of affordability. Depending on what you can afford, you can, in many ways, have the world at your fingertips. You can research a lot of things, often for free. And of course, it's important to keep that in mind that with great power and access comes great communication. Access is huge in terms of finding the best stories and the best news sources out there. And of course, the updates that are often provided do provide for up-to-date information. And, relatability too matters. How news can be related to you is something that experts look at more than you might know. And the last thing here is bad factors. Of course, media does have bias, and we're going to understand how to detect bias later. That's probably the toughest part of my job, to understand a little bit more from you all, to understand a little bit more about the biases that you might have coming into media, and also some of the bias that comes from media to you, and analyzing that accordingly. Sometimes media can have a lack of depth depending on where you look and what you look at, and sometimes the media just has a lack of clarity. And of course, we have to be really careful of that when we're trying to get to the truth of any matter. So there you guys have it. Those are the answers to the questions of the day. I hope you enjoy this new unit as much as I do teaching it every single year. Thank you very much for tuning in, and good luck with completing the rest of the lessons and the rest of the work, which will be posted later. Thanks.